Morning. Hi everybody, sorry for the slightly late start. I'm still commuting though. Whole heap of traffic on the road this morning. I'm just waiting for even one person to come on as usual, and then you know how it go. I will start. Okay, one person is on. Hi, morning. As I said, there was a lot of traffic on the road. I'm late, I'm very late. Just dropped my kids to school. So I'm still commuting, but you know, they're in traffic, so hands free. Alright, so this morning I want to talk, morning David. This morning I want to talk about the nutrition with the government's thrust to remove sweetened beverages and sweet foods from the schools. You know, basically the whole policy surrounding getting Jamaicans to eat to improve their diets. Now let me put out my disclaimer from now. This is not a political talk. I'm not looking at the political aspect of this. You know, say I love my politics, but I use this page for non-political discussions, as I think that I'm trying to foster discussion around the whole concepts rather than the politics around it. Alright, so late last year the government began to make steps towards reducing sugar consumption in Jamaican citizens, especially our children. Now, the minister, Dr. Christopher Tufton, has basically indicated that come January, he will remove sweetened beverages from schools. In the meantime, he has removed Nutri products from the schools, and Nutri products meaning Nutri-Bulla and things that they produce that have a high sugar content. Now, just to give you my background, I'm a physiotherapist, and I did a postgrad certificate in nutrition. So I have experience in the field. I am more or less, I can't work as I'm a weight management consultant. That's what I do. That's my day job. Alright, so I am able to look at it from a scientific perspective. Now, I support the government's thrust. Let me just put it out there. I support the government's thrust to remove sugar from the diet. I wrote a book on sugar consumption. I wrote a book called The Sweetest Conspiracy, The Great Sugar Dilemma. So I have a vested interest in seeing the reduction of sugar consumption in Jamaica. What a lot of people don't know is that sugar is as research comes out, we see that sugar is responsible for a lot of the issues that we're having, especially the non-communicable diseases. Now, recently, Professor Errol Morrison stated that sugar doesn't directly cause diabetes, which is true. Basically, A is like a A plus B plus C equal D. You understand? So basically, it's a cause and effect thing. It doesn't directly cause it, but it leads to it. What sugar does, sugar causes what we call chronic inflammation. It leads to chronic inflammation, and chronic inflammation is said to cause up to 95% of non-communicable diseases, which diabetes is one of them. Increased sugar consumption causes a whole myriad of things. Alright, so we get that out of the way. Good morning, sunshine. No donuts. Somebody's trying to serve me donuts. Alright, so I don't even have on my seatbelt. Shh, don't talk. Alright, so sugar is addictive. It's an addiction. It's very addictive. Sugar is said to be more, and this is based on scientific research, sugar is said to be more addictive than cocaine, marijuana, and alcohol combined, right? It causes the same. It basically causes the same chemical reactions in the same part of the brain, the chemical receptors. It's an addiction. And what makes it worse is that we get our children addicted to sugar from basically them born. Right? Think about it. What's the first word? I say it all the time. What's the first word that baby know to say? after him say mama, dad or whatever, he says juice, because we start giving kids sweetened beverages from before them can even walk. And that's the truth. When you buy all of these juices with this added sugars, and this, listen, let me be clear, we're talking about added sugars here now. All right, when you give kids these juices with these added sugars, you're basically creating an addiction before them can even walk. And so we basically set them taste buds up. I have friends who are health freaks that never ever put their kids on sugar, and those kids function just fine because they're not used to sugar. You understand? Versus some of us know who we picking up on sugar, and some of them are fat, some of them are overweight. Not all of them are overweight because they are physically active, but some of them are overweight, and that's the truth. Now, to me, if I could do over, especially where my kids are concerned, Sebastian isn't so bad, but especially with Sean Douglas and Sundari, I would probably be one of those parents who did not introduce sugars to my children at all. No, that's the background. So yes, I do support what the government is doing in terms of what they're trying to do, and other countries have done it successfully. The UK has done it successfully. New Zealand has done it successfully, where they have removed sugars from the school menu. Increased sugar consumption also causes dental caries, and dental caries is basically the rotting teeth of children. You understand? We have a higher incidence of dental caries than back in the day, believe it or not, right? And it has to do with the sugar in the stuff that they eat. It's not about brushing teeth alone. I mean, you can't brush your teeth 24/7. But my issue with what the government has done is basically the lack of policy. And in terms of how they have done it, it kind of, I don't know, it kind of chaka-chaka, for lack of a better terminology. No, they didn't think this through. And I personally have spoken to the minister. I've encouraged him because he's gotten a lot of backlash, right? He's gotten a lot of backlash. But my issue is, he didn't put this is something that you have to develop over time. There has to be a public education campaign to basically tell people what are the issues with sugar consumption. He should have brought in all the stakeholders. My issues, he didn't bring in all the stakeholders. Him should have did that. Him should have bring in everybody involved, get the experts, get somebody like the, Professor Errol Morrison, who run Diabetic Association. He should have gotten his input. You hear him making a whole heap of noise now. Get the nutritionists them, get the people them who deal with, get doctors, basically everybody, get all the stakeholders involved, and then come up with a policy and put it forward. But instead, what we have left with after all of this, because him done take out the Nutri-Bulla. So this is what we have left. I hope y'all can see this. I know because I'm using my front mirror, it basically in reverse, right? But what we have here is Mannapack rice. You know, let me just state clearly, I do not eat rice, because if you're going to remove flour and put in rice, you're swapping black dog for monkey. They're both grains. They're very similar. Nutri-Bulla is basically flour and sugar and a few other things. Mannapack rice is sugar and sodium, a lot of sodium, right? A matter of fact, when I look at the nutritional information on the back, there are 869 milligrams of sodium per serving in this, and this has 6 servings. But I'm not even just gonna argue about that. I'm gonna talk about the fact that Mannapack rice, I saw a documentary on it. Somebody posted it on my page. When I'm done with the live, I'm gonna share the link in the group, on the live. I'm sorry, but it's genetically modified, right? There's this lady who developed it named Patty Mac whatever, can't remember her name, but Patty whatever. And when she described the process of how it is developed and how she have the rice grain and how they genetically engineer the rice grain, it's a genetically modified food. And I'm saying, yo, you're going to basically remove you're going to remove our wheat product here with what you call it, sugar, and give us GMO food. It don't make no sense. That to me is like you're swapping black dog for monkey. Sodium is also an issue. Sodium consumption. We don't only have problems with sugar consumption, we have problems with sodium consumption, because sodium cause increasing the sodium in the diet cause a whole different set of problems basically. So what he's doing no really make no sense. But me have an issue with this thing. You see this tag at the top? It said feed my starving children, and I made sure to get one. I'm not staying here, okay? I'm not going. Is the sun are running from? Excuse me. Is the sun are running from? I so move. Alright? They want to send me to the sun because I reached my destination. Right, but I beg one of this, and I must thank Mario and Van Rick Freddy for providing me with these bags so that I could actually go through them. But it says at the top here, feed my starving children. You can't see it, as I said, because the writing is back way. But that's what it says at the top. It says so on the bag at the back. And me personally have a problem with that. You see, these products are developed to combat malnutrition in some of these African countries, especially in the regions where you have the people them are refugees and them starving, and that's what they've developed this for. Now these children are malnourished, right? These children are not getting the foods they need. Jamaicans are not malnourished. Jamaicans are, well, we're malnourished in another way, but it's not from the lack of food. We know our children are not starving, right? So what this product is developed for is to feed starving children. It says so on the label. Work with me now. The children that these products are developed for are children who probably won't eat for days because of the circumstances they live under, right? They're severely undernourished. If they were here, they'll be put in the hospital, drip put on them, and all of these issues, all of these things, right? So this is designed for people with severe nutritional shortages. This is not designed for children who eat when them go at them yard, right? Who get food, nyamuli for foolishness. No. So the whole, basically, you move, as I say, you're not helping the situation. Rice, as I say, is a grain just like flour. Alright, rice is a starch. All starches break down into sugars before the body can use it for energy. Right? It's just so carbohydrates stay. Carbohydrates are the body's source of energy. Right? So basically, when you eat a carbohydrate, whether it's sugar straight, whether it's Nutri-Bulla, whether it's rice, whatever, it's going to break down, right? And the end product is glucose, which is used in a product in a cycle in the body called Krebs cycle, which produces ATP, which is the basic unit of energy that the body needs, right? So every move will make me chatting, I require ATP, that's the energy to use to do all the activity. That is what carbohydrates are used for. So you giving my kid rice all day long is tomatoes versus tomato. Is either eating the sugar straight or it breaking down, right? The bottom line is, when I look at this, I'm seeing 42 grams of carbohydrates, right? And it only has 4 grams of dietary fibers, right? Remember now, you have gross carbohydrates and you have net carbs. Gross carbohydrate is everything including fiber, right? This only has 4 grams of fiber. Fiber basically is what the undigestible part of the carbohydrate. I hope I'm not getting too technical, but the fiber is the undigestible part of the carbohydrate that basically improves the food motility through the gut, and it goes through and you poop it out, right? So that means when you minus this, that means 38 grams of this carbohydrate is metabolized and broken down into simple sugars eventually. So as I say, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other, because this product is not designed for us, right? This is not going to make the situation any better. What we need in our diets for our children is more protein and more healthy fats, not more carbohydrates. Because yeah, as I say, you're basically running from the frying pan into the fire. Now, I've seen when I put up the post, somebody sent me a picture that they were also giving the children bread, white bread, with like a white bread cheese sandwich with stale lettuce, or it looked stale to me, and the lady was complaining, said, boy, basically that's what it was. Now, I appreciate the effort, but remember that vegetable don't have no shelf life. So if you're gonna give children food with vegetable in it, it has to be prepared at the source. You have to prepare it at the source before you hand it out. You can't pre-package the sandwiches and send it with fresh vegetable in there, or else there's going to be a chemical reaction between the lettuce and the cheese, and it's gonna go rancid. And anybody who do food and nutrition, I say Trudy can tell you that, because Trudy do food, right? If you package cheese with vegetable in one thing, the cheese going to go rancid very quickly. So basically you'll be giving the kids rancid cheese sandwich. That's basically what it boils down to. So now my hope with all of this ban was that the government would have utilized the products that we have here. We have whole heap of agricultural produce here. I didn't see closing Nutritional Products Limited or taking the contract from them as an option. I thought what they would have done was to basically have them repurpose, basically do use, instead of using wheat flour and sugar, use foods like sweet potato, which has a naturally higher level of sugar. So it's still, when you use sweet potato flour, the food is still a little sweet, but that is not as much sugar as was in it before, right? Somebody saying Callaloo. Okay, that's true. All right, what the minister told, this is what Michael Coleman is saying, what the minister told Emily, that it was a donation from a company called Feed My Starving Children. Fair enough, Michael, but if that's the case, we cannot use it to replace the products that nutritional product NPL was providing. You understand what I'm saying? This is not good enough. It really isn't, because at the end of the day, you would give children this who are basically malnourished, undernourished children, not overnourished children. The problem we're having is of overnourishing our children, not undernourishing them. We're giving them the wrong foods to eat. It's not that they're not eating at all, right? This is for this product as based on the ingredients that are in it, the high carbohydrate level. This is for children who they're trying to bulk up because them undernourished. Them need the energy because them basically in a state of dire malnutrition. This is not for me pitting them where I'm around the clock, or you're pitting them when I'm around the clock, but you're trying to get them to cut down on bag juice and Nutri-Bulla and things like that. No, you understand what I'm saying? What we need to ask the minister to do is to look at using things that we grow here. We have a whole mega market every Thursday, save for a few. And I'm telling you, I'm just checking my phone if it's overheating. Let me remove it from this stand so that we don't trip out like what will happen to we all the time. All right, so what I was hoping was that the government would have used products like sweet potato, breadfruit, yam, things that we grow, and as David said, Callaloo, we have it here. Grind it up, make wraps. Exactly, David. That's what I was looking for. I wasn't looking for Feed My Starving Children or imports. We have this thing of where we want to import people food and we grow our own food. We have everything here, you know. I hope it's not moving, these people moving, you know. We have everything here. We don't need to improve. We don't need to import food. I see now one big hullabaloo say we're going to be importing American chicken meat. Why we want to kill our own poultry business here? We have such a thriving poultry market here, industry that employs, I hear, 50,000 people, right? We have people here, we have two big companies, we have other small farmers who basically grow poultry and sell it to people. So why we want to start importing things? Hi Leslie, and my weekend was okay, so I'm just here trying to analyze this whole food thing, the whole food program. And as I say, I support what he's trying to accomplish, what the minister is trying to accomplish, is just how we might go about it when me have an issue with, right? What you can do is challenge Nutritional Products Limited to work with local farmers, right? Because big and serious, we don't produce wheat here. We don't produce wheat, so the bulla them, when they buy all of this flour from Jamaica flour mills, basically it's imported. Flour is imported, right? But I saw, well, there's one thing I will commend Minister Shaw for, who is now the Minister of Agriculture, is that he's encouraging us to use our own products to make flour, right? So because wheat have gluten in it. A whole heap of we have gluten intolerance, you know. Thank you, Radcliffe. Happy Monday to you as well. But what we do not know is that a lot of us have gluten sensitivity. A lot of us have gluten intolerance, and we don't know it, right? A matter of fact, black people tend to have gluten sensitivity, right? That's a proven fact. And most grains, even rice, have gluten. I don't eat rice at all. I don't eat rice, and I try to avoid flour too, because grains on a whole are not necessarily the best for us. We produce, you see them foods, them root carbs, those are the best things for us, and that is what we grow. So that is what we need to use. Sweet potato is one of the healthiest things that we can give our children, and sweet potato can make flour. As a matter of fact, when I was at Denby, I was introduced to sweet potato flour, and it's really nice. It's naturally sweet. You understand? We have, apart from the root carbs, like the tubers, like your yam and your sweet potato, we have banana, green banana, we have plantain. Plantain is also naturally sweet. So these are things that we can use to substitute all of this grain. And that is what I would encourage the minister to do, instead of basically importing this foolishness. Okay, it's a donation, but what we are going to do with it? You understand? See, Westmore girl is saying that she have gluten intolerance. Let me tell you, you're not the only one. It's just that you know your body. You've learned to understand your body, and you are educated enough to know the symptoms of gluten intolerance. Most black people, especially here, most of my patients that I see have gluten intolerance, and all you have to do is do a interview them. First of all, gluten makes you bloated. You see half of them people that you see walking around with this big gut in front of them, and they think it's fat. Sometimes it's not fat, you know. Sometimes they're bloated, and that's just the truth. Sometimes they are bloated from them that, and certain foods cause bloating, and one of the most common ones is gluten, and that's the truth. You understand? So you have to know your bodies. But grains, wheat especially, has gluten, and gluten is the protein that is in the grain, right? So sometimes you see foods labeled gluten-free. That's because they've taken out the gluten out of it, right? And that should help you with digestion. Me personally, I just try to stay away from them and make my life. The minute I start eating it, like for instance, I was sick the other day, I started eating some of these things, I blow up. Anybody who know me and see me recently can tell you say me blow up, and it's because of gluten, right? But this is one thing that I try to avoid at all costs: rice. I do not eat rice, and that's just me, a personal choice. I don't eat rice at all. Let me just say, I don't cook rice at home, but if my kids are on the road and they want rice, I'm not going to say no, you can't have rice. But I don't cook rice at home. But this Mannapack rice thing now, as I was saying, I'm going to put the link, because I think I need to touch on that. The fact that it is genetically modified. GMO foods are causing issues worldwide, right? You're not hearing? Are you hearing better now? Tell me, let me know if you're hearing me. Yes, Radcliffe, I know you love rice. Let me know if you're hearing. Sound check 1 2 1 2 3. You hearing me? Just let me know. Trudy said she wasn't hearing. All right. No, okay. Thanks, Keith. Thanks, Westmore girl. Thanks. All right. So, genetically modified foods. Let's talk about that. No, that's what Mannapack rice is, based on the video that I saw. When they genetically engineer foods, basically they try to add and subtract nutrients from it to basically deliver whatever they want, right? No, this is not how it is. This is not how it grow up out of the ground, right? It's a chemical. It's a chemical process, right? Now GMO foods have been linked to many disease states, cancer being one of the primary ones, right? Now I see them saying them even modifying meat now and growing meat in labs, right? And it's going to cure world hunger and all of these nice things. Yeah, but then we start having all these abnormal cells because of genetically modified foods, and it is something that I personally have been preaching against for a long while. I know that it was inevitable that it would reach here. It's just that we need to basically be aware of what we are giving our children, and the fact that basically Mannapack rice is GMO food. You understand? Alright, so Michael is saying that it's not all schools got that rice. They're working on a nutrition policy. Alright. No, a lot of schools have gotten it, because I put up a notice on another page of mine asking, and the amount of people the number of people where offer so they have them get it. And it's not just the schools, Michael, because a friend of mine told me that she got it to donate to through her church, and they were giving it out. So apparently it's all over the place, right? No, as I say, he's always taking up for the government doctors. How is he? All right. Yes, Dwight, it's gonna take a huge change, but you know, guess what? If I arm you with the information, you know, and you can make the change, right? Yes, truly. And you know, I don't have a hefty market bill. I go to the market every Thursday, but to me, going to the market is cheaper than going to the supermarket. I mean, when I go to the market with my because I have one of them big Crocus market bag, I full that for under $2,000. I can't do that in the supermarket. You understand? So it's just a choice we have to make. A lot of people look down on going to the market, but to me, it is just more economical. It just makes more sense. When you go to the market, you leave with so much more food. And these are the things that we need to encourage people to do. We need to, first of all, in the first JLP administration, when Christopherson was Minister of Agriculture, he had reintroduced something that Manley did back in the 70s called the farmers market, where basically you had markets basically everywhere and pop-up markets. And that's a good concept, because that encourages people to get things from the farmers themselves. When the farmers go out and sell their own produce, it works out much cheaper for you, you know. Because let me tell you something, when you go to the supermarket and buy a tomato, the tomatoes is the farmers sell the tomato to the people them down the market or whoever buy the tomato and then resell it. Most of these supermarkets are not buying directly from the farmers. They are reselling it from a reseller. So you get markup time too, right? So when you go to the market, if you go early enough, you catch the farmer them. Because if you go like before 8 o'clock in the morning, you will catch the farmers. If you go after 8 o'clock, you catch it from you have to buy from the market vendors who bought it from the farmers. So it's a little higher, but it is still better than going to the supermarket to buy it. You understand? Now, what I would like to see is that the Ministry of Agriculture work with the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Education. If the three ministries work together and develop this nutritional policy that Michael is talking about, then that's the best that's the best possible outcome. I don't see why is it that the three ministries are working in vacuums, because I hear Audley Shaw talking about encouraging Jamaican businesses to use up local produce, but yet the biggest Jamaican business is the government. So why is it that he's not encouraging his health counterpart, his education counterpart, to basically utilize the foods that we produce here to give the children? I hear they're giving children water instead of sweetened juices. And okay, water is good, obviously, but you can't give children water alone all day every day, right? they do, because children are more active than adults, whereas like me and you, I would say, yeah, stay away from the sweetened beverages. A reduction in the sugar in the beverage is good, but they need at least some. If you're not going to do it through added sugars, give them through fruits, you understand, or fruit juices, because they need more energy than us, them growing, right? I go to Coronation Market every Thursday. Donovan asking me which market I go. I go Coronation Market. I live in Kingston, so when I drop my kids to school, I go to Coronation Market. But basically they need more, they need to use more energy than us, because them still a growth requires energy. It requires more nutrition than us, right, than what we use. So I would encourage the ministry to not totally ban all beverages from them. What you can do is give them fruit beverages by utilizing the fruits that we have here. We have mango. I see when they're trying to start up back this mango export thing, so we can give them mango juice, we can give them pineapple juice, we can give them June plum juice. So many fruits that we have that are fruits. There's always a fruit in season in Jamaica. We can basically do it. It can be done, and it's then bemigo and see how much potential we have if we utilize. We can feed if we will utilize the foods that we produce here. We have a whole heap of food that we grow here. We don't need to be, our food import bill does not need to be this high. And this is the perfect opportunity for us to reduce our food import bill instead of trying to import chicken meat and raise it. Right? So let me see what time it is now. I think, yeah, we're gone over time now. It was a very good discussion. Okay, so Sally Boo is saying that that's what her daughter's school does. They give them fruit juice, and that is good. We need to encourage more schools. We need that is what we need somebody to do. We need somebody to develop all natural fruit juices to give it to the children at school. I think Nutri product, whatever, NPL should actually look into that, because I mean, instead of, because I know say with this government taking the contract from them probably running into a whole heap of financial difficulties. So they need to pivot. They need to pivot and look at other products. Basically offer the government other nutritional solutions instead of just Bulla. Because between me and you, giving pitney Bulla all day long, giving pitney Bulla for nyam, it don't make it no more. And as somebody put on my post recently, a lot of times the teacher them take the Bulla them and go at them yard with it anyway. So anyway, that's it for Monday Morning Meds today. Thank you for joining me. Share the video. The discussion will still be ongoing. I'm going to find that Mannapack rice link on YouTube that I watched the video about how it was produced, and I'm going to put it there for you to watch for yourself to how they make the Mannapack rice, because this lady was, I don't know, but basically you will see for yourself. So enjoy your week, everybody. Take care until next week, and let me know what you want to talk about next week, please. Take care.